few weeks ago, or me and Robin, we had planned this. I knew it was coming up, but a few weeks ago, I just wanted to pray over this night, and I wanted to pray over everyone coming. I didn't know who specifically was coming at the time, but for the past 3 years or so, I've been journaling. I have prayer journals. This is my 9th one now. My mom just got me this. So this is my 9th one that I'm now through, and I write things down when God speaks to me. And so I keep them by my bed because a lot of times he wakes me up in the middle of the night, because that's what God does, right? At like 2 or 3 a.m. when you're dead asleep, and he wakes you up, but that's when the best times are to hear him, right? So when he speaks, I want to write it down because I want to remember it. So when I was praying over this night, he woke me up, and I heard him say, encourage. I was like, okay. Wrote encourage down. I was ready to go for more, because usually I'm writing just pages and pages. That was it. That's all I heard was just encourage. Next night, same thing. Woke up, I heard encourage. I was ready to write more down. Nothing. And I'm just going to be very honest and transparent. Hold that thought, because I need a box of Kleenex. If y'all know me really soon. I used to apologize for it, but I just don't anymore, because it is who I am.
reason.
So I'm going to cry. Just letting you know. What was I? See, I'm getting like
Encouragement,
right.
Second night.
Second night. There we are. And I get distracted, but I promise I'll tie it all together. But I was going, as a family, we were going through a very, very rough time. And it's been a very hard season for our family, just marriage-wise, kids, things that have happened. But that particular week was so hard. And me and Nate, I know that some of y'all see us at church, and y'all are like, y'all are the best, y'all are the sweetest couple, and this and that, and it's like you're seeing us from the outside. Sometimes what happens on the inside of the home, is not the pretty picture. And so we were having a very rough time, and we were just at each other's throats and fighting over the stupidest things. And kind of looking back at it, there was one argument, we were fighting over chicken. It's like, have we lost our minds? But there's always like an underlying, it's not just about the chicken. Isn't that like a Friends episode? It's not about the whatever. But we were saying some very hurtful things, and then the kids were all over the place, and I was just at my wit's end. And I was also just, I was kind of burning the candle at both ends, just going 90 to nothing. And I got to the point where I said, and I said this out loud, I said, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I give up. I'm done. And 3 to 4 years ago, if that would have come out of my mouth, I would have been in this stuck place, and I would have been in a place of depression, anxiety, and I would have spiraled down very quickly. Where I'm at now, I caught myself, like when I heard those words just, exit my mouth, I said, whoa. No. This is not what God has for me, because he does not put a spirit of fear into us. And I knew that was the enemy just trying to get into my head, because he knew that I was at my weak point. I was very low. And I immediately, I told Nate and the kids, I said, you know what? I need to be by myself right now. I need to have my time with God. So I went to the room, had my prayer journal, and I just dropped down to my knees, and I was crying, and I just screamed out, God, please help me, because I can't do this alone. I need you, God. And I just kept repeating it over and over, crying. And I actually had to kind of transcribe from my past journal, because on some of my pages, my tears hit the page, and I couldn't even make out the words. So this is what he said in that moment. He said, daughter, I've always been here. Sit still and trust in me. You have an amazing support group. And I'm going to stop right there. And I cried harder, even more than I was. And I said, yes, I do. And it's y'all, it's this group, it's the church. And when he said that, I said, thank you. And I'm going to backtrack a little bit. I promise again, I'll tie it all together. But we moved here in Anna in 2012. And we didn't know anybody. And, we had friends that I could text, but we were all kind of scattered off, like high school friends, college friends. we had no friends here, and we really didn't have a church at that time. We would go visit Covenant, but we weren't really planted there. And when Joel started up Oaks, we knew that Oaks is where we wanted to be. So we were there from the very start, and there were some women that had already known each other from Covenant or from different churches, and I started going to this group, Eat, Pray, Rise Up, not knowing anybody, and I saw people, that they already had those connections, and I almost was very envious, because I looked at them and I was like, that's what I want. I want that. I crave that. And it took me out of my comfort zone, because when you're new in a group and you go places where people already know each other and they're talking, and I don't know, it can just, again, put you out of your comfort zone. You may feel shy because you think that they already have that really good connection. And I've just never felt so welcomed in this group and within the church. So again, squirrel moment, but I'm going to tie it all back. So coming back to what he was telling me, what he spoke, he said, daughter, lean on me always. Surround yourself with believers and with ones that continually seek me. There's no limit to my power, to my love. I am bigger than any battle you will go through. Because you can't see me does not mean I am not working in your life. I am here. Every battle that we face, God is giving us the opportunity to surrender to Him solely and to completely trust in Him. And I think a lot of times we want to do it ourselves. And I'm the girl that, on the outside I may be smiling and be bubbly and whatnot, but on the inside there may be some internal battles that, not necessarily that I'm ashamed to ask for help or for prayers, but it's like, no, I got this. And I think what God was trying to tell me is, or to encourage you guys, to encourage these women, to encourage each other, because we can't do this life alone, and we were not put on this earth to do life alone. And I don't know if some of y'all caught Pastor Travis's message last Sunday. And if you haven't, I strongly encourage you to watch it. But he spoke on some of the things that God was telling me, that church is not just about the four walls on Sunday. Church is a Tuesday. A mom is struggling, and she needs someone to talk to, someone who has already walked that path. And church is also a Thursday night, a woman that is going through something in her marriage, and she needs somebody that's already walked before her, that has gone through some of that stuff before. Church is a Saturday night at 2 a.m. with a woman going through unspeakable grief and depression, where you can call them or text them or whatever, but just to have that prayer, that covering, that support. And I think we as women, not just in this group, but as a church, we have got to be there for each other. And that's what God intended us to be. And encouragement is strengthening others. And we get encouragement for being in unity with Jesus, because He came down here for us. He died for us. He rose again. He, poured out His Holy Spirit to be our guide and our helper. But we've also got to help each other. And it just felt so, I don't know, it was just so heavy on my heart. Not heavy, I guess I should say, just urgency to say encourage. And it seems like a very simple message, but not really, because I think we can get so caught up and so busy in our lives to where even like a simple text or a phone call is just too much, because we're doing our own thing and stuff. So I kind of had this idea of, if you have a prayer request for yourself or for somebody else, or maybe you don't have a prayer request, but just like an encouraging word, I thought, we could write this down, hold it up, put it in the basket, and then as we leave tonight, just draw one out and then pray over that woman or that situation. Or, if you drew an encouraging word, let that be something that just speaks life into whatever situation or whatever challenge that you're dealing with. Anyways, I'm not like an eloquent speaker or a pastor or anything like that, but when I hear God speak to me, and that's another thing that I encourage you to do. It doesn't have to be a fancy journal. Get a notebook, piece of paper, but really start tuning in and listening to what God is saying to you, because He will speak. Sometimes we're just so busy in our mind and our lives that we're not opening our ears to listen to Him. And there's so many times where I'm like, I'm so busy. No, we're not. We have so many hours, so many minutes in the day where we can sit down and first off give thanks to our Father, and then just give praise. And it doesn't have to be all about me, 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 me. I want. I need. God, please, why can't I have this? God, why? He will give all of that to us. But we've got to sit and listen to him and see, what he's saying to us. And it's also on his timeline. And I think we get so, again, Pastor Travis said something about this, just we're so wrapped up on our timeline where it needs to happen like right now. But it's a season of waiting sometimes. And the season of waiting is what develops us and what transforms our life. And then we can't even, when those doors open, it's just like, oh my gosh, now I get it. But at the time, we're just so wrapped up. We're just in this urgency season. But I think it's a season of waiting that is the best type of season. So I've got all these cards and pins. If you have a prayer request or anything like that, just please write it down, because we would love to pray over you or pray over a loved one, or if you have, an inspirational saying that you have, or some kind of Bible verse that means something to you that I think would touch another lady's life, that she could be like, okay, this is what I need in this moment, in this season.